Okay, hi, Gabor. Very nice to meet you, and good morning. I believe you are in Hungary, Budapest now. I hope your family and everyone is fine during this coronavirus.
Hello, Mukesh. It's very great to talk to you. Yes, I am in Budapest right now. All my family is healthy and productive, although we are in three different continents.
Really?
I
So,
am here in Budapest, Hungary. My wife is in Shanghai, and my daughter is studying in Ottawa.
okay. So this is little bit of a challenge, as most of the people are going through. The families are split in this pandemic.
Especially myself and my wife, because my daughter wanted to study abroad in a faraway country, so she suffers less from the separation. But as for myself, I was supposed to come to a relatively short business trip of about 2 or 3 weeks in Europe. And then that was about 2 months ago. And now I'm waiting for the time when I can return to Shanghai.
Absolutely. And I wish and I hope we all are wishing that things are becoming normal and comes to normalcy soon. And I hope to see you very soon in Shanghai.
I certainly do hope as well.
Right. And I think, today I thought just to update, as you know, that because of the current evolving situations, the TEDx event is still delayed. We were supposed to do it in the end of February. Then we said we'll do it in the end of April. And now we are hoping to do it in probably in around June. And there is still some uncertainties, but I thought it will be good to probably talk to you about the topic we chose. And I remember meeting you around 4 or 5 months ago in Shanghai, and we discussed about the topic serendipity.
Exactly.
And
I
we
think people who, especially people who already booked their tickets, they expect something from us, don't they?
absolutely, and the good thing is that people are not asking for the refund. Only 10% people ask for that, so it means people are really looking forward. So it is a good opportunity to send them a message that the speakers are doing fine, and they are very excited to meet them whenever that becomes possible.
Exactly.
So, Gabor, would you like to give a little bit of view of your topic which you are preparing and to talk, the accidental identity? And you mentioned a very nice point about the country you are born in. That matters a lot in defining your further future or your roadmap ahead in your life. So, just give us a little bit of a background how you are going to talk about it and what are your basic ideas about it.
It was a fantastic chat, Mukesh, I think, because we were sitting in that cafe in Jing'an in Shanghai. And then you basically pitched this topic to me. Serendipity is one of those English words which I didn't really use an awful lot before I moved to Asia. And that was almost 20 years ago. And since then, I heard it a lot. So when you talk to me about the event being about how life shapes our next step
Right.
and where it takes us, and you asked me what serendipity means to me, then it almost naturally came to me that the biggest serendipity in our lives is who we are.
Absolutely.
Because there are a number of important stages in human life that are almost like a lottery, where there are
Right.
different ways to win, not just
Right.
one winning number. So the first of it is your genetic code, what kind of personality you are getting from life.
Right.
The next one is where you are born and how much the values of your native culture are in agreement or disagreement with the values that your genetic code predetermines you
Right.
to act according to. And then finally, wherever you have the opportunity to go and find the people who are just like you, who think like you, who make you feel good and make you feel more productive and
Absolutely.
motivated. So if you put this all together, then the biggest serendipity of all is who we are and what we are becoming. And this is what I would like to speak about.
Absolutely, Gabor. I think that's a wonderful thing. We're all excited to divulge and deep more into this. That it certainly defines where you're born. But what do you think, Gabor, that now because of this COVID-19 and people have been in different locations, different circumstances, in different professions, and there's a new kind of serendipity which is evolving because a lot of businesses are changing, probably even under a lot of challenge and even if I will not take names of those companies, but there are some shared economy principles which came up very strongly. Now most of those companies are going out of business because no more people are interested in that. So it's very difficult even to probably draw a forward dot about what serendipity is. So probably serendipity could be very contemporary as well.
Well, it does force us to give a serious rethink to the concept of luck and serendipity and even fate. And one of those things that is being forced upon us is that in order to give serendipity a chance, you have to either physically or mentally leave your house.
Right.
Now, I am in the lucky situation that most of the time I work with senior decision makers and executives of multinational companies who are already, to a certain extent, used to networking and working with teams all over the globe, partially online. So it was relatively easy to move my business online, my coaching projects, my advising projects, even some of my training projects. And many of these people, they discover a new aspect of going with the flow, so to
Right.
speak, which
Right.
is basically just saying, give a chance to the serendipity that we are talking about here. So some of them were very resentful at the beginning, for example, that they couldn't return to China or they couldn't travel internationally.
Right.
Or some people like myself who have been separated from their families for a long time. But then they had to think about, all right, I cannot leave the flat. So what is it that can go through?
Right.
And it's bits of information.
Absolutely.
Because we stay at home because we want to stop the virus. So it means that we want to stop almost everything physical as much as we can,
Right.
but we can let through anything virtual.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And of course, part of it is information, part of it is emails and pictures and files and all of those things that you can send digitally. But we also realized that we can send human emotions through the cyberspace. And I think that's where a new kind of serendipity has a serious chance. Let me give you an example. In a luxury brand, in one of the best known luxury products in the world, I was coaching and advising one of the senior executives in China.
Right.
And after that, he left China and I lost contact with him for quite a few years. Then I got a LinkedIn message from him and he told me that he just joined LinkedIn now.
Okay.
I think he was a late starter on LinkedIn. He sent me a message about how wonderful it is to be reconnecting with people that he hadn't been in touch with for many years. And of course, for somebody like you or me who are quite active online, this is not news. But there are people who are just discovering the power of this tool that was at their disposal, at their fingertips all along.
Right.
Even family. I mean, I keep in touch with my wife and my daughter through applications like the ones that we are using now.
Right.
And then you rediscover, for example, the power of conversation.
Absolutely.
That I'm not spending most of my time with my wife having meals and watching television and doing chores at home, but face to face, just spending time talking without doing anything else.
Right.
I think these little opportunities are ones that we can use.
Absolutely. I think Gabor really rightly put all these words, and some of the people are also finding that while the whole world is going through challenges, industries are in challenge, but even people are saying that it has given them an opportunity to pause, reflect, change courses as well. And I hope that for the whole world, the new normal which is emerging will be the greatest change ever, which is coming for the whole earth. And we believe we always connotate serendipity with a happiness and a positive word, but sometimes you also have to take such kind of things in all the way which is comes, and embrace what is happening to all of us. So we're all looking forward for your wonderful speech, and I hope that the things get to normal very soon. And now accidental identity becomes more interesting, and probably you must be getting more time to also configure some of your thoughts what you're going to put to the audience.
I sincerely join you in that hope, and I can tell you, yes, I do have the time to do it. I thought I would have more. I always find something to fill my time, but it can be an opportunity. With the right mindset, it can be, yes.
Right. But before Gabor, I wind it up with this small chat, I would also like to, hear your very quick comments on. You have been a, expert in the cultural diversity of the people in multiple countries. I remember you showed me an XY diagram about how people in different countries, react. I'm not asking maybe decisive comments, but how do you feel that, now there's the new thing which is now, happening to all of us. how the whole world is reacting, and how how the whole world will be coming out of it.
What I find very interesting is that there is a curve. So initially, it seems that people with a quiet nature have an advantage because
Right,
people who are sociable, people who are outgoing, they originally at the beginning of this lockdown, they had a very hard time. Not just losing their human contacts, but also losing things like, for example, the opportunity to hug somebody
right,
or the
right,
opportunity to be surrounded by people in a three-dimensional space. These can
right,
be extremely painful. What do you call retractions in human life?
right,
People who are a little bit nerdy at the beginning, they seem to have an advantage because they just stayed at home, they watered their plants, they read books, they did their coding and so on. But I also noticed that eventually people who are outgoing, they are more proactively finding opportunities to network virtually or whichever way they can. If nothing else, they shout out of their window and somebody shouts back.
absolutely.
But people who are introverted and they lock themselves in, eventually they burn out. My
Right.
sister is a psychologist and she treats code writers who originally they were very, very happy with the situation, but also eventually
Hmm.
they suffer much more from the isolation
Right, right,
because they don't have the routines to go out
right,
and re-establish those connections.
right,
Another dimension is low conflict, high conflict profiles, which can be a personal profile and can be a cultural profile.
right.
And what we can see is that after a initial period of everybody understanding that we are all in this together
Mm.
and we have to fight this together, the high conflict nature of certain individuals and certain cultures is beginning to surface, and we are beginning to look for narratives of who can we punish, either
Absolutely,
mentally or physically, for this
absolutely.
happening to us. And then what I want to tell everybody is that we have to be very careful with our biases,
Right,
because on one hand, people with a peaceful and harmonious nature, they seem to be the good guys in this equation.
right, right,
But humankind needs the fighting spirit,
right.
albeit we need it to be channeled in the right way. So
Absolutely.
all of these people who want to use their research capability to find the scapegoat, we need their energy, we need their drive, we need
Right,
their determination. But
right,
perhaps that determination of finding the reasons could be channeled in a much more productive way. So when we find somebody on social media who is looking for results and looking for answers and turn it into blame, let's not just hammer it down as irresponsible people, but let's try to work together with them in channeling that kind of energy into finding out what we can do next.
right,
And if we are more peaceful and we are not blaming anybody, of course, we can be proud of not creating conflict, but also we have to think about, do we do enough? Do
absolutely.
we have the kind of drive to go to the next step?
Right,
Because we always have to combine all kinds of styles in order to get results together.
absolutely. I think rightly said, Gabor. New things are evolving, and people different, behave differently, and I think different cultures are embracing it and going through it. But we all wish and hope that all things will be better very soon. Thank you very much, Gabor, for spending time today, and I wish to see you very soon. Take care, stay safe, and I hope everything is fine with you.
Thank you very much for having me and all the organization that you are doing in a quite difficult time. And I very much look forward to seeing you, fellow speakers and audience in Shanghai.
Thank you, Gabor. Just stay on the call. I'll just check the all recordings are done, gone, good or not, and then we'll close the call.